So as we come up the stairs, there is Dave's study, and you can see it's kind of a mess right now. There's the light. Because we've got everything torn apart. This cabinet right here was downstairs. Now it's upstairs. And the cabinet that I will show you that's now in the other room, it was another of these shelves, was over on this wall. This is where the futon's going. And this chair is going to go in the other room as well. So this is the current mess as we reorganize my husband's room. Now we'll go to mine. There it is. That's the spare bedroom. And no, I did not make the quilt. The quilt is actually from Walmart, and it was like a Christmas quilt, but it doesn't look Christmassy, just the colors. And it matches up here, so it is a summer blanket that I put on the bed. And I've already shifted the bed slightly because it was centered over that picture, which was my grandmother's. It was centered over that, but I actually shifted it because there's plenty of room on this side of the bed, and this way it gives me more room on this side of the bed. This is where I normally sit while I'm filming. That is the fluorescent light that you see shining in my glasses. This table was my grandmother's, and then it was passed to my daughter, and then it came back to live at our house, and it's now going to go away because I don't like to sew upstairs. So my sewing machine is going to go downstairs. The index that's over here was actually my grandfather's too, and it would normally hold like screws and bolts and things like that. I have zippers and different spools of thread in it, so I actually sit my camera inside one of those drawers, and that's what I film with. So that will be going away, sort of. There you can see the index better. And then if you look down here, all of my sewing notions are in this drawer, these set of drawers. And there's some socks here. I have no clue whose they are. We've had several people spend the night, and I just found it under the bed. So I have no idea. I don't think they're my husband's because I have no clue how they would be up here. Unless they were, the only thing I can think is maybe when I changed the sheets, they got caught in the sheets when I brought them up from the dryer, which might be what happened. But anyway, yeah, somebody's unidentified socks. So now, over here, I have a closet, which we will open carefully because the gift wrap will explode at me. There it goes. Now you can see the embarrassment that is the craft closet right now. Talk about a total disaster. My tub of shame that I've talked about is right there, which is all of my projects that have not worked out and I need to rip them apart. So that has some, those drawers have some random little skeins of yarn in them, and those boxes have who knows what. Bits and pieces of everything in there. My quilting hoop is back in the corner, and my blocking board is right there up against the wall. And there is the gift wrap that attacked me. So I'm going to try to make something a little bit better. And then over here, you've seen this shelf before. It holds a lot of my yarn, and I've got, and the papers that are waving in the air conditioner actually say what the weight of the yarn is that's in those tubs. But it's way overcrowded, and so we brought this one, which is identical to it, and my husband's going to tighten both of them because they're very, very wiggly right now. I'll show you. As you can see, they're pretty. This one wiggles a little bit. That one wiggles a lot. So we're going to try to get those fixed, and then I'm going to have two shelves to stick stuff on. So that's where we are right now. There is Dave. He's putting screws and tightening everything up so it doesn't tip over on me. There's the mess so far. So I thought I'd give you an update on the mess so far. There's the 2 bookcases that are now in here. There is some of the mess on the bed. Now, over here where my sewing cabinet used to be is now a chair. And over on this side of the bed is tubs full of yarn that need to be sorted out yet. And the whole closet is full of yarn yet as well. Progress. There it is. So far, it's not in any order. I've just tried to sort by yarn weight. So I've tackled all the buckets of yarn that I've got now to go to the attack closet, where I will get attacked by the gift wrap. You can see that the bed looks a little bit better. And all the yarn on the other side of the bed is now gone. And over in the corner, right here, are all of those boxes that were full of yarn, which will be used again once I start organizing it. Update on yarn explosion out of the closet. Oh yes, this entire box. This entire box is full of yarn. There's yarn. Over here's yarn. There's the closet. But you can see the floor. But you can't see the floor over here. So, yeah, this is the progress at this point. This is down in our kind of office space. It was meant as a dining room, but we never used it as that. Dave is now currently building a mandolin, so I'm not even going to show you the other half of the room because it's kind of our shared hobby space. So this cabinet here, the 2 left doors are a broom closet, and the door next to it holds my cleaning supplies, and it has numerous shelves. The bottom shelf has my sewing machine on it. But over here we have our printer, and right below that is the fabric that I'm working on for project bags, and there is the quilt batting that's going to line the project bags. And I have 2 skeins of yarn just randomly sitting there that are going to turn into a cowl. They're extremely soft. They are Alpaca Sport Melange. They're from Frog Tree Yarns. And there's this, which is a light heathered purple. And then there's a darker purple. So there is a mosaic cowl pattern that was sent to me in a book from another podcaster, and I'll put her name up along the top here. But anyway, she sent it to me, and I've liked one of the patterns that was in that book, and so I think that's what I'm going to make out of it. So over here is just some random notebook stuff. Down here is the yarn I had set aside to crochet the sweater out of that Pam and I determined I did not have enough yarn. So it's still hanging out there because it still wants to be a sweater, but it's not going to work as a crocheted one. Sitting next to that, right here, are 2 skeins of Knitology, which is Knit Crate. It was the latest one that just came in, and that one I do want to make the shawl that came with it, so the pattern to it is sitting underneath there. And right underneath that, in that gold bag, is a set of socks. Then we move the next shelf over. I have 2 old laptops that no longer work. I just am not quite sure what to do with them. I need to have my son-in-law kind of destroy the memory on them. And in the bag in there is just various notebooks that I have. I keep my business statistics and floor plans I like, and there's one of the coloring books for adults that's in there, and the little pink pouch sitting right there has different colored pencils and pens in it for coloring. I never do that. It looks like fun. My mother does it. I tried it. I just can't get into it. This is my sewing basket, and it's just got, thread and buttons the type of buttons you would use all the time, and scissors, just your basic sewing supplies. And sitting next to it right here are some diamond art. There's 4 of them, one for each season. I just am not going to work on it until the company has left because I don't want to have a mess all over the kitchen table. And then I have a bin here. This holds my ball winder. This is for winding yarn as well. And this pouch here has all my double pointed needles. This pouch I've showed before, but it's all of my knitting needles, and I have the sizes on the top here. These are just like little vinyl zip pouches. I got them off of eBay. I think there was like 2 or 3 in a bundle, and I just hooked them together with notebook rings that you can get at the dollar store. So they are all in there, as well as one of my one of my needle gauges. And then this bag here holds all of my crochet hooks. And this bag came in a bundle from Lucy Solar when we did a yarn box exchange about a year or so ago. So I use it to hold all of my crochet hooks. The next tub down is just empty. I don't have anything in there yet. I'm probably going to store the extra yarn for the sweater I'm making in there so it's not all over the house. And then the bottom shelf here, that has music in it, and all of these shelves across the bottom have music stored in it. These are different hymnals. Some of those are from my husband's grandmother. Some of them are from churches we were attending, and the church got new hymnals, so we each got a copy of the old one. And so all of this is music. And music instruction books as well. So here is the final finished room upstairs. And there's the bed. And over here, where I used to have my desk or sewing cabinet, is now a chair and a table, and there's my spinning wheel lamp. We'll get to the closet in a minute. Just giving you an orientation to the room. That's a rocking chair that was mine when I was little. Here is the yarn. And then the basket there has my fleece in it. And the craft closet is right there. So now we'll go through the closet and the shelves, and I'll show you how I have them set up. Okay, we'll start. The gift wrap over here is now strapped up. You can see it right here. But let's get into the important part of the closet. Now, the top shelf of the closet, this particular tub that's over here, contains my crochet thread used for doilies and things like that. The center colorful items are actually blocking boards. They're children's puzzle pieces that work perfect for blocking boards, and I think I spent $3 on them. There's also some fiber fill up there, and then this tub on this side is the is some fabric. The drawers here, this drawer here on this side contains the dishcloths that I've been making for Christmas presents, and this one contains some stencils that I don't use that much. And down here are wrapping paper supplies like tissue paper and ribbon, things like that for Christmas wrapping. Over on this side, the top shelf is empty, or the top drawer and the second drawer are pretty much empty. Those are for the project bags that I'm going to be making for Etsy. And the bottom shelf here, or the bottom drawer, contains my cross-stitch fabric and some cross-stitch patterns. Moving to this area over here, I'll stand back. The black tub right here contains just some project bags. This blue bag here, I keep, I do tat once in a while, not very well, but this is my tatting supplies. I keep my Tunisian crochet hooks and my straight knitting needles, which I don't use all that often in here, as well as my oversized knitting needles. And I have over here some old latch hook. Over here I have some latch hook rug hook, and a rug punch. This is actually from when I was in 6th grade. I would have been like 10 or 11 years old. It's probably considered an antique. On the next shelf down, the pink and brown tote contains my beading supplies for jewelry making. And the other two, the little pink box on the bottom is some sewing machine attachments, and the pink bag above it holds all of my GoPro attachments to my camera. Now the very bottom, that is the tub of shame that I've talked about. And there are some things I still need to unravel. Over here are some quilting hoops and my cross-stitch hoops, which are unassembled except when I need them, because otherwise they take up a lot of space. Now over here I have some gallon Ziploc bags, which I'll show you a little bit later what I do with those. And the 3 containers hold my cross-stitch flosses. I do not keep margarine up in the craft room. I actually use it when I'm traveling. I've cut a hole in the top of it, so I put my yarn down inside it, and the yarn comes out through there, and that way I can use it in the car, and it's not going to pick up dirt off of the floor or anything. And so, yeah, that's what I use it for sometimes. Now we'll go through these drawers. The top drawer is just miscellaneous items right now. It's got my fair ribbons in it and things. The second drawer down has my knitting supplies that I don't use all that often. There's some beads. These are my pom-pom makers. And this is my Icorn knitting machine right there. I got it off of eBay for, I think it was around $10 or $11. And these are the pins that go to my blocking board. The third drawer is zippers and fasteners and elastic, basic sewing supplies. These are all my buttons, and they're divided up by the type of button and their color. This is my glue gun and this attaches onto my sewing machine. It has a magnifying lens. And this is a Barbie doll. I don't play with the Barbie doll, but when I've made Barbie clothes, I use this as my model. This is different thread, and there's several layers here. This lifts out, and there's layers underneath there. I have it divided up by color. Most of this thread was my grandmother's. And then the bottom here is just some patterns. So this is the shelf closest to the door, and I'll start at the top. These are little sheep and a sheep that I made. And I have a little jar over on this corner that has all the wood spindle or wood spools that I've saved from my grandmother's thread. This shelf here is all acrylic that I have grouped together because I'm going to use them on something. So I have some white, I have some of this, which is Kartopu. It is a variegated, there you can see it. It is from Ice Yarn, or no, it's from Hobium, I'm sorry, Hobium Yarn. And I had 2 of these. And then these are Shawl in a Ball, and so is this. And this is Encore by Plymouth Yarn, and this is going to be a project, but I'm not sure what. So this is all of my acrylic yarn. The next shelf down is my cotton yarns here. These are leftover cotton balls. Because they're in balls, that's why I put them in a basket here. This little star here was crocheted for me by Diane Luther. And if you've ever sent me a card, I actually have them clipped together with a little sheep who's reading a book. So all of the cards that you've ever given me are over here because I do save them. And this little sheep here was made for me by Kathy Tinkler. So I have 3 sheep here. This is Shirley, Goodness, and Mercy. This is some yarn from Hobium Yarn. I have 2 packages of these, and this is cotton, and there's 5 colors, and there's 2 skeins in each package. So altogether I have 4 skeins of each color. These are some yarns I got from Lion Brand, and I love them. They're so, oh no, I got these from Ice. I'm sorry, Ice Yarns. They look so pretty the way they're braided. I almost hate to take them apart, but they are a variegated or a gradient cotton, and I have 2 of those as well. And then these are Katia Bombay. It's a mercerized cotton. I have 2 skeins of this. And then these that are in bags, I talked about using these 1-gallon Ziploc bags. These are yarns that I've put together as a project. I'm not sure what project yet, but they are put together so that I know that they are going to be together in a project. So I have some red, and this is a purple, a variegated, and a yellow that has the purple and the yellow in it. This next shelf down here is all sweater quantities. Actually, the next 2 shelves down, 3 shelves down, are sweater quantities of yarn. So I have some over here that are going to be knit together. I'm going to hold them together. These are from Hobium. They both contain Angora, so they're going to go together. And then I have some purple from Hobium that is going to be combined with this, which is a purple with some sparkles and some dark purple in it. And then I have some of this. It's an Aran weight. I got this at Webb's last year, and it's showing pretty true to color. It's like a blush color. And then over here, I have a whole variety of greens that I'm hoping to put together, and they all play off of this particular yarn. That is all different shades of green. And this is a Cascade Heritage. It's called Multi. It's a superwash merino and a nylon. Now on the next shelf down, these two bundles here are both Lion brand homespun, and these were some of the 10 for 10 that they had a few months ago. So I have one in this color, which is like a burgundy and a gold. And then I have this one, which is in pinks, like a pinkish rose and a green. So I have 10 skeins of each of those. Over here is some black yarn from Hobium that I am mixing with a gray and black yarn. This is just some of the same blue that was up on the shelf above. And then I have some white and some red. And the red is from Ice Yarns, and it is going to get mixed together with these two. This is a Brooklyn tweed. You can see it. And this is called Bollywood Twist Sock. It is from Hedgehog Fiber. And it has a lot of, you can see some really pretty colors on that side. So this is probably going to go into some type of color work with that red sweater. On the very bottom, which you can't see very well, there is a sweater's quantity of Hawthorne Cottage yarns. There it is. And it's a chocolate brown. And I have enough to make a sweater out of that as well. Now we're on the top shelf that is nearest to the window, and again I have more sheep along the top. The yarn in here is just mixed matched. It is all wool. It's just things I'm not sure what I'm doing with, or it's bits and pieces, so it's in here. Right here I have some yarn that I want my granddaughter to take a peek at. Here it is. As you know, they lost everything in their house to a fire, and at Christmas I had made her fingerless mitts and fingerless mitts and a hat, and those were lost due to smoke damage. So I told her I would make her another one. So these are two of the colors that I thought she might like, because she likes this teal color. So these are a couple I was going to let her pick through. I have some others, but those are ones I kind of had in mind for her. This box here is kind of empty right now. As I take apart things that are in the tub of shame, there is some acrylic, and the acrylic, when I ball it up, is going to go in here. Because if I just leave it loose, it's going to roll all over the place, so it will go up into here. So most of this is empty. This shelf and the next shelf, which I'm going to show you, are my fingering weight yarns, and I have them organized by color. As you can see, they don't have any specific projects targeted for them right now, but I have them divided by color so that when I do, I can easily see what's going to match with what. So as you can see, I have a plethora of brown yarn. I seem to like a lot of brown yarn. So I have brown, and then it goes to gray and kind of a darkish gray brown. And then over here are all blues. This is a bundle of blue. And these are lighter blues, which are more of a teal color. The next shelf down here, I have some red fingering weight yarn from Hobium. And I have, not many, but I have a few purples. Get the light to adjust. Not real well, but anyway, there's some purples. Anyway. Then I have some purples. These are all in these next two tubs are all slated for projects. So I'll show you just a couple of them. Like I said, I bundle ones I know are going together. I know that these 4 yarns will eventually be used for something together. Here's another sample of what you can see that I'm going to put together. There's this blue that's a variegated here, and here's a solid blue. It's a little tonal, and then there's this, it's almost an Edgewater gray, but this is a Cloudborn from Knit Picks, or no, this is a Cloudborn from Bluprint. But all of the colors are in this, yarn. So they are all going to go together for a project. So like I said, I bundle things together that I know are going to go together for something. If I do know what they're going to go together for, a lot of times I will tuck the pattern right into the package with them. And like I said, both of these tubs here that are filled are projects that I know they're going to go together. I don't necessarily know what project yet. The bottom shelf here is worsted weight, and they are all wool of some kind, and they're just living there right now because I'm not sure what I'm going to make with them. They are not sweater quantities, but they're heavier weight yarns. Then along the bottom here, I have various books. Over on this side, these are knitting and crochet books. And all of my loose patterns are in that yellow folder you'll see at the end of the shelf there. So this concludes the tour of the new and improved craft room. If you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, and thanks again for watching.